Hello, my name is Eddie Kindle, and I am proud to serve this community as the Assistant Superintendent of the Port Huron Area School District. So welcome to Mr. Kindle's Corner. Again, as I said before, this show focuses on the very brightest and best that the Port Huron Area School District has to offer. We showcase some talented students in our school district, and today we have a fantastic guest here. I'm excited to introduce one of the brightest and best teachers in the Port Huron Area School District, Mr. Matt Cook, representing the math department from Port Huron Northern High School. Matt, welcome to Mr. Kindle's Corner. I'm very glad you're here.
Well, thank
today.
you, thank you. I'm very honored to be asked to be on here today.
Very good. As I said, Matt, you're one of the brightest and the best. You do your job on a daily basis with a high degree of energy, enthusiasm, and a commitment to doing a great job for the students that you teach on a daily basis. So let's let people in this community get to know Matt Cook today.
Well, good.
Not only as a fantastic teacher, but as a great person too. So Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself and the grade or grades in which you teach at Port Huron Northern High School.
Well, I am a high school math teacher at Port Huron Northern. The two classes that I have that I teach this year is I have an advanced class, Algebra 2 pre-calculus, for the advanced students, and then I also teach intermediate Algebra 2, which has been a new course introduced in the last few years,
right,
which gives the students that might be struggling with math an opportunity to slow the curriculum down a little
sure,
bit and give them the opportunity to experience a lot of success. And so far, that class and the 2 years that we've been doing it has produced
sure,
a lot of good results in terms of student success.
Okay, very good. And I've seen you in action. Math is a tough class, but you go into it every day, like I said, with a high degree of enthusiasm. It takes a lot of energy to be a quality math teacher. It's such a tough subject. But before I get into my next question, why did you become a teacher? Why education for Matt Cook?
Well, it's one of those things where as you get older and as a student, you do have those people that you do look up to. Not only
sure,
did I have great teachers, I also noticed at a young age when it came to my math classes, students would ask me, well, hey Matt, how do we do this problem? How do we do this problem? And I spent most of my time, I noticed that, looking back on it now, I spent most of my time showing them how to do the problems, not necessarily
right,
saying, oh, the answer's 6, the answer's 37. It's like,
right,
no, you have to do this step and this step and this step. They say, oh, yeah, I love it when you explain it. And when my peers and students would tell me how much they loved listening to me explain how to
right,
do the problems, that kind of told me a little bit something that I think I should be doing this.
So that light bulb went off and you said, I can make a living doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
oh,
good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, education is one thing, but why specifically math? Why do you have such a passion for math?
You know, I've thought a lot about it, you know, as I've been teaching, and this is my 5th year teaching, and all 5 years have been here in the district. And one thing I have noticed about math is that it's one of the few things in life that's predictable.
Sure.
You know, there's so many things. I tell my students this. I told them before, there's so many things in your life that are just simply
sure,
unpredictable. You can't control what happens to you a lot of times as soon as you walk out that door in your house. But the nice thing about math, or when there is some things that are predictable in life, take advantage of them. Math is one of those things where if this happens, then this happens. And if you know what to expect, not just in a math classroom, and try my best,
right,
and I try my best to make it so that way they understand that in other phases of their life, that predictability, and when you see something that's predictable,
sure,
you go for it and you go and you achieve.
Everybody on Kindle's Corner who's watching, I told you this guy was good. Now let's get to the next question, because I know everybody's interested even more now. But Matt, it is clear that you have a great deal of understanding on the importance of building and maintaining solid relationships with your students, parents, other members of the community, the stakeholders you mentioned, other colleagues. Tell me a little bit about the importance of those relationships and how they ensure success for not only you, but the students in your classroom.
Well, you know, making sure that success happens in my classroom is making sure that that cycle of communication
Sure.
between the teacher, the student, and the parent, as well as the administration and the staff, stays in constant motion. It's always got to be something that must be maintained on a consistent basis. And if that communication falls through at any point throughout the year, that's where the achievement gaps kind of happen. And making sure that ball keeps rolling, so to speak, has got to be a teacher's utmost priority.
So, Matt, you're really, in essence, talking about creative partnerships.
Absolutely.
Okay, very
Absolutely.
good. Now, I don't want to get you in trouble on this next question.
Oh, boy.
'Cause I know you've had some fantastic teachers in your life, but talk to us about one. You know, we always say your favorite teacher, but who was one of those most influential teachers in your life?
Well, I thought about that, and I've always tried to think about what teachers influenced me. And, you know, being a math teacher, you'd think that the obvious answer would be a math teacher inspired me. But actually, it was my 11th grade English teacher. He was it was his final year. He was retiring at the end of the year. And what he brought to the classroom in terms of a passion and enthusiasm for whatever it was he was doing. You know, me being a math guy, sometimes you're trying to sit down and read about, read The Great Gatsby and things like that might not be that enjoyable, but you know what? He made it enjoyable. He made me want to come in there and learn about those characters. And you know, this was a situation where my junior year I moved during that year, and I moved all the way over to Oregon. I spent a year out in Oregon, and he kind of knew that. He knew why it was my junior year. I didn't really have a lot of friend support at the time, since I moved to a new school and didn't know anybody. And he kind of took me under his wing a little bit and said, hey, you know, some of these kids in this big school might not know you, but I want to know you. And that's something that I've always tried to incorporate into my teaching. And anytime there's a new student in the district, we want to say, hey, I'm glad you're here. We're going to be doing some great things this year, and let's get some work done.
And Matt, there's that fundamental foundation of building a relationship. So keep doing a great job with that. We appreciate that. Matt, just about teaching in general, what's one of the best things you like about the grade level in which you teach at now? And then kind of describe some of the particular challenges of maybe that class or that grade level.
Yeah, well, teaching high school students definitely does have its moments, you know. What I like about the challenges is that it's something different every day. Having done other, odd jobs and things like that during my college years, a lot of times those jobs, it was doing the same thing. You knew what to expect. You come in there, you do that job, you punch in, you punch out, you're done. Oh, teaching is definitely not like that.
That's right.
And it's not a punch in, punch out type of job. And the challenges that the students bring your way is always a different one. I can honestly say every single year, I can't say I've run across this. I've always come across a new problem.
Sure.
And,
daily.
Daily. And one thing I do like about those challenges is it really does push yourself as a teacher, as a professional, to improve in the work that you're doing. And that's what I love about teaching, is that it always pushes you to get better.
Right.
You always learn, that lesson didn't go so well. What went wrong with it, and how can I make it better tomorrow for those kids?
And unlike math, Matt, teaching is a little bit unpredictable at
That's
sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things I want to say about that, just to piggyback off what you were talking about, the expectation is for every teacher, they want to be a great teacher. And nobody expects you to be great every day. But the expectation should be, you should be at least good every day, because there are lives at stake.
Yeah, you're not going to be at your best every day, but what you should definitely always try to do is learn from it. You always have to make sure that you are always improving. And as a teacher, that is one of the most important things. And that's one of the things I stress to the students. Is I tell the students beginning of every year, and I tell the students that good and great math students don't ever make mistakes. And students might have an idea of what a great math student is, and oh, they never mess up, they get every question right. It's not true.
Sure.
I said what makes a good math student a great math student is that they don't make the same mistake twice.
Absolutely.
And if they can limit that, making those same mistakes over and over again, that's what really separates a good math student from a great math student.
Awesome. Now, Matt, just wrapping up, you got a lot of insight into teaching at a very young career start. I mean, you said you've been around our district for maybe five or six years,
yeah.
Which is fantastic. If someone new to the teaching profession was to ask Matt Cook for just a little bit of advice going into this career, what would you say to him?
Well, I think when I came in, you know, the first thing I did as a new math teacher is get to know your colleagues, because every single one of those staff members want to help you succeed. You know, we all want all of our students to succeed, not just in my classroom, but I want that math student in the classroom right across from me to succeed too, because if they're getting better, then that's improving that teacher's understanding of the material and the content and the curriculum. And when it comes to those collaboration times, whether it be a staff meeting or a department meeting, that's going to make them better. So what I would tell that that budding young teacher is you know, make sure that you are always learning and don't be afraid to fail. It will happen. You know, as a new teacher, it's going to happen. But what makes a good teacher a great teacher, just like a good math student and a great math student, is try not to make the same mistake twice. Very
good. Now, Matt, we know our parents are extremely important, and we talked about partnership with our parents. What are some things that you can advise our parents to do for their children to ensure some of their academic success, and specifically in the content area of math?
Sure. Well, you know, definitely in general, you got to always be talking to your student and making sure that what they're doing in the classroom is meaningful to them, and making sure that you can find ways to make any topic that they're discussing relevant. You know, it's our job as teachers to make sure that we make the content relevant to them.
Right.
But also parents can try their best too to get to know what their students are learning and try to find ways to make them. You know, getting as specific as I can in terms of the math curriculum here at in the Port Huron Area School District. You know, we definitely have a very a vast array of resources that are available to them, especially if a student's enrolled in an Algebra 1 class or a geometry class or an Algebra 2 class. There are online resources. Check with their teacher, and they will be able to give you a website that will provide instant interactive quizzes to give them instant results to see how they're doing. They even come with tutorial videos that can provide some extra for help. And because we talked about this earlier, there's going to be some content that's in, you know, today's high school math curriculum that could go, that might be a little bit tough for parents to help their students with. So having that resource with online video and tutorial, you know, you can kind of help them without actually having to know a whole lot about it, just knowing where to point and click, basically.
Absolutely. Matt, I want to thank you for your time and your energy, that enthusiasm that you display in the classroom. You displayed it here as well, so I appreciate that. Before we go, some students at Port Huron Northern High School told me you can dance.
Oh, boy, yeah.
So if a challenge is on the horizon, it may be the form of a fundraiser, give me a call and I'll show you what I got as well.
Oh.
Okay.
I think you're on,
Can we do it? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt Cook, one of the brightest and best in the Port Huron Area School District. Thanks, Matt.
Well, thank you very, very much.
Good.